Turn up volume.
The volume seems to be working fine, recording.
The video
The video.
turned
is-
off on
Yeah,
the bottom of
the
the
bottom,
screen.
yeah,
You want it on?
yes, please,
They're going back on.
or else
YouTube.
I would get yelled at by Cody.
No.
Says it's recording.
Do I need to turn up the volume or? can
No,
just
I think
close
it's
that?
fine. I mean, the little green, the microphone down in the bottom corner is going along fine, so.
Okay,
Does say
Do you want
muted
me
on
to-
the bottom there.
maximize it.
It does?
Sure. Yeah.
That's muted.
Oh, the speakers made it.
So anything that would be playing to us, we won't hear.
Yeah, but I'm not,
Microphone's active.
yeah, yeah, so. I think we'll be fine, I think as long as we speak up a little.
I'm here.
You
I don't want to be in the picture. That's a good thing.
want to sit here?
No. I did that last time and I don't want to be
You
here
did so
again.
good. You did so good. This
I had you last time.
Sorry, I was on a boat.
Oh, that must have been horrible for you.
We saw dolphins.
Oh,
You
geez.
should stop them. You should stop.
All right. So we have a quorum, so I'm gonna call to order this meeting of the Coventry Land Trust at 6:33 on Tuesday, May 20th. So a quick roll call. So Jenna Odell,
Linda Brennan, Elsa Block,
Lynn Carlson.
Scott Savigny.
Josh Chase?
and Rory Carmody and Justine Johnson will be arriving late. So let's do a quick evacuation instructions.
Out the door in that corner and then out to your left.
So. Onto the approval of minutes. I'm gonna, others take the minutes because I was not here for this meeting.
so, I was, did I dive in with correction? Okay.
Dive in.
On page 2 of 2, I see we selected the name Puddles Duckington, right?
Yes.
Yes. So the Duckington was not included.
You have others, Linda?
Let me see, I thought I had another one. Oh, yes, okay, on page 4. I talked to Laura Carberry, not Laura Carmichael.
Could you spell that?
Carberry.
Okay, there.
I thought just to be clear on page 6, under 6.5, Ms. Carson will make every attempt to get out and GPS all trails on Bowden and incorporate it into a map.
Except that amend it from all trails.
Right.
I was going to get out and GPS the red trail,
Okay.
not all trails. It's massive.
Yes, I thought that sounded very ambitious.
I have several.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one for me is that the page numbers on the bottom are incorrect, at least on my copy. It goes from 2 of 7, 3 of 7. Oh, no, okay. Apologies. I was looking at my copy that I was sent in the email. So, but this is the one that you printed out, so that's been corrected. Apologies. Okay, so top of page 3. And Elsa will need to correct me if I'm wrong on this. You provided a trifold trail map. I don't think it was a trail map as much as it was like a informational.
It has the points that there was like a trail map on one side, but the more important piece, yeah, was that it's, I guess, trail map and informational brochure.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, that the trail map obviously I did not make.
Yeah, I just don't want people to think that it's a map only,
Yeah.
because it has all that great other information on it that you put
Mhm.
together, so it is more of a brochure. And that's also for the second sentence, layout as a brochure for Whipple property instead of as a map.
Where is that?
That's underneath, it says, it's the third sentence from the top. And then the second
Just the
sentence,
next little mini page.
she will use this layout as a map for Whipple property. Like the third,
This is the has a map for Whipple, right? So,
if it's not a map so
brochure.
much as it is a brochure.
oh, okay, so then where was the previous correction then?
The first sentence from that
The first sentence from,
says miss in that same paragraph.
oh, I thought there were two there. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's a trifold
gotcha.
trail map / brochure, and then she will use this layout as a prototype. I don't know how you want to word it, but
It's a prototype brochure.
yeah. So
Draft. Or pilot. One.
okay, and then lower, let's see. There's just a sentence, so in that large paragraph, the fourth paragraph, from the top. Ms. Block and Ms. Johnson walked the Bowden site, that paragraph.
Mhm.
It says green can just be a child.
Oh, that was the. I know exactly what you mean. It was the green.
Yeah, I mean, it's just saying that green could be done by kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
but the phrasing of that is a little.
Yeah.
green can just be a child.
Trail gradings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trail, exactly.
The brain can be done by just by kids
Yeah, something like that.
or by children. In that same paragraph, there was one sentence that I wasn't quite sure what it meant. Miss Brennan, if asked if she would want something that is a map, it's map specifically for Earth Day.
We were talking about, a map that would give the colors for the trails that should be maintained. Like instead of having on the trail map as it is, it's a blue trail and a white trail and a yellow trail, we were gonna change the colors so that you guys could hand out a trail map that actually designated which trails were easy, which trails were needed more work, which trails were for clippers and so forth.
There's a maintenance guide.
Yeah, that would work.
To replace the word map.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
On page 4, very top sentence, June 16th. There's just a typo. Miss Carlson doesn't know if members plural.
Members, plural.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
And we have an invitation for that.
and then in 4.6, in the second paragraph under grant opportunities, it says Ms. Carson. instead of Carlson.
Hmm.
Just so that people don't think there's a Carson.
Mine says Carlson,
Below where it says Parks and Rec Director.
below where it says Carlson, yep,
Okay,
got it.
and then I'll have to defer to Elsa and Linda. I thought, didn't we make a motion to table the Audubon grant? Did we make a motion and approve the motion, or did we
Yes.
just say we were going to?
I think we made a motion. And, yeah. Just to be clear, then they will no longer have that.
After this year?
This year included.
It was, this year included, the last 3 months were
Great.
totally defunded, and so they were actually asking for donations to keep the 3 people on.
Oh, fun.
Okay, I'm almost done, sorry.
Okay.
Not the impression I gave at the conference.
Probably didn't know it yet.
Yeah, I
Probably
mean, my
didn't know it yet.
entire job program was terminated within 24 hours, so. It's very, there's not a lot of heads up.
For 11 logo redesign. I don't think these were gonna be final options. I think they were gonna be additional options.
Yeah, and also I will just
Or
say,
other options?
definitely forgot that we talked about adding a violet to it, so I have other options, but they
Okay.
don't have a violet in them, so they certainly will not be final options, because I need to add a violet if people don't like.
And then 6.5. Yeah, again. This was just for Bowden, where I said that I would make every attempt to get out in GPS.
The red
The
trail.
red trail on Bowden.
And the motion is accurate, like,
Yes. the
yeah, to
motion
map a red
itself.
trail at Bowden, that just
Yes.
needs to be put into the
Yeah.
actual.
Yeah.
language.
I don't want people thinking I'm flying around. I'd like to be, but. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's it.
Any other corrections we need to make to the minutes? Do I hear a motion to accept them with those corrections?
Linda Brenner makes a motion.
Second. Council Block. All in favor?
I,
Great. Motion made to accept the minutes of April 15th, 25. So I want to get on to ongoing business, but thinking before we do that, perhaps we hear a little bit from Scott about who he is.
Okay, Scott Savigny, Creation Director, got here in October, pretty much up to speed now. Prior to that, spent 20 some odd years in Cranston, doing different programs and, other jobs and whatever needed that within a small department. So now I'm here and getting used to being here and all that it entails.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Thank you.
thank you for coming.
We appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
It's something we're getting used to. As well, there used to be a strong relationship between Parks and Rec and the Land Trust, but that was like a decade ago.
Okay,
So now there's a new ordinance that created us from January, I think, and said Parks and Rec will sit at our meetings and help out.
as many as I can.
Oh,
Thank you. We appreciate this. Whatever you have is more than we have,
Okay,
which is not a lot. And just for the record, Justine Johnson, joined us at 6:44.
Okay, we just.
All right. On to average. Item 4.1. Any updates on outreach? Um. I have one, but.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure like where to organize the piece of the conversation, but because like part of the strategic plan conversation was surrounding outreach and media stuff, so I don't know if we discuss that when we discuss the strategic plan, or if we discuss that now.
Is it for the strategic plan or just general outreach?
Um. And those not be the same thing. Would general outreach be a part
Give a
of,
comment or an update?
it's like less of an update, I guess. I don't know, I just like have questions about social media stuff that we talked about as part of the strategic plan, like specific goals, but that is outreach as well as being part of the strategic plan, so.
Go ahead and spit it out.
Okay.
Figured.
Yeah, so we talked about strategic plan, our social media staff talked about one of the goals being. It is hot in here, one of the goals being, increasing our social media presence by posting more frequently and working on a website. We have not yet chatted, about the website, but hopefully that will happen soon. And then the social media stuff that I have been thinking of is, I think a while ago, was it you, Leonard, or did somebody maybe shared with me a folder of like a bunch of media, photos, videos that have been taken in the past. I have no service or Wi-Fi in here, so I can't go back and check, but in theory, I think I have that. If I don't, I'll email to make sure that I do.
It was you.
I think it was,
Yeah.
if anybody did, I think it was you. But without looking at it right now, I don't remember like how well updated it is. My thing with that is twofold. One is that I need to, well, make sure that I have it, but also, yeah, part of establishing a good social media presence is that it has to be consistent and posts need to be consistent, which means that content for posts needs to be consistently added. So, if it exists, it's likely, I assume, a Drive folder.
Mhm.
And I just want to make sure that everybody that's here, knows, has the link to it, has upload access, and knows how to upload stuff to it. Because the best way to get content is gonna be to just have all of us, whenever we are out in Coventry lands, whatever photos, videos you're already taking, just get added there, whether you think they're good or not. So I just wanna make sure. I know it's difficult because there's no Wi-Fi in here, but, I guess I'm not really sure how to go about doing that. I guess I can just go back and make sure that I have it, and then Josh, if I just like send it to you with a brief description of like how to upload stuff to it, is that something that you could just send to people? Does that work for everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. And yeah, like I said, it doesn't, even if you don't think it's good, it will be useful. Any videos you take, videos are, right now, like videos are, the thing that gets the most, like the boosts on social media, as far as like eyes on your content, the things that get really, however the algorithms on Instagram and Facebook work, reels or videos on Instagram are what gets pushed the most. So, as far as like my ability to make reels and make videos, any videos that you guys take, ideally vertical, and I'll put this in the email so people remember, but it can be a few seconds long. It can be like if you're taking a photo of something that you think is cool or pretty, like also take a little video of it. Because those all can be easily combined into like longer videos that I can produce. But yeah, it's really just gonna be about, especially because come end of August, I'm not gonna be living in Coventry anymore. Obviously, I'll still be coming back for meetings, but
If you're not.
You're not,
within-
yeah, if you're not a resident of Coventry.
I mean,
She's gonna be in school, but I mean, for
Yeah,
permanent address.
my
it's still
permanent
here.
address is still here.
Hmm.
Can she fulfill the term?
I don't know, I'll have to check on that.
Well, that would be unfortunate.
That would be,
Yeah.
would be very.
Get it started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we might have to
Um,
be living with full time, because I know they've been really trying to push that, at least with the tax breaks. You know, the people who are getting tax breaks, but have 2 houses, one here and one in Florida.
This seems different. though, 'cause it's
Yes, it
Public
does.
service. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
people
not
are
a
banging
tax.
down the doors to serve.
Right.
And
And
then,
it's not because she's vacationing somewhere.
No, there's no
Yeah.
personal
No.
gain.
nor am I
happening.
permanently moving somewhere else. I'm
Right.
going to a school for a year and my
Right,
permanent
right.
residence is still here. But anyway,
So just to be clear, we're uploading to a site and you're going to create the posts.
that's theoretically, yes. That the next piece of my question has to do with that, but what I was gonna say is ideally, if I'm not gonna be in this area as frequently as I currently am, it's gonna be like even more important for me to be getting content from other people. Because, I mean, you can take some and send it to me, but that's not a ton. So yeah,
Our dogs play.
our dogs will likely have a very prominent role.
Very
But, so I'll make sure, find,
We need a new dog.
send out email.
Very good at taking pictures when I'm doing things. I just get involved in what I'm doing and, oh, I
Yeah.
should.
Get GoPro, just put it on your head.
But it will be good, and also it encourages everyone to look at details of landscape and those things.
Mhm.
Yeah, so then the next piece of that is, so I have access now to, thank you, Jenna, to the social media pages that we have. Haven't done anything with it this month because I needed to ask y'all about like, am I good to just post whatever, whenever, obviously within reason and things that make sense to be posting? Is that something that I need to run by people, and how and in what capacity? There's no way that we could have any sort of consistent social media presence if every time I needed to post, I needed to wait to have a meeting.
Yeah, that would be,
There's just not, I mean, the only possible way that could work is if I prepped like 14 or so posts. And this would then, obviously, if this happened to happen, would have to wait till next month. I could prep a bunch of posts, assuming that we have enough content for me to do that, and then stagger them. But that then wouldn't allow for any like topical posts, like if
Yeah.
there were, this happened today, or this is a
Is
footage
it-
from wildlife
Yeah,
camera.
is it fair to, I mean, because there's some things that I can't imagine are controversial, right? So like, this was some footage on Bowdoin today, I mean, just posts like that, if that's nothing, and if there's all clear to post things like that, or to post, if we have official partnerships, like with the Coventry Library or whatever, to just post flyers, you know, or repost flyers that are relevant to of the land trust and.
yeah, the thing is, we got into a little bit of trouble last year with a particular post. And so the land trust is in a little bit in a situation where there is a little bit more scrutiny. Having said that, if you're gonna post that, you know, you saw a cool flower when you were walking in, you know, Bowdoin, who's gonna have a problem with that?
Right.
Right.
So if it passes the completely non-controversial sniff test, is that,
I think if it, and I can't imagine, you know, a post like that would not pass the sniff test, as you put it.
I'm gonna just jump in here.
Sure.
One thing that's an alarm bell that go off, just make sure you don't post anything about an endangered plant or creature that may, in other words, what sometimes happens is like Audubon won't post about where bald eagles are, because sometimes that encourages it, people who want to go out and shoot one, you know what I'm saying? So, or it's a rare plant, so I'm gonna go pick it.
Yeah.
So just,
Yeah.
yeah, so just be careful not to
Mhm.
post anything that's rare.
Can we post if we don't tag it geographically? Like if you found ginseng or a, you know, could you say in Coventry?
We could, because Coventry is big enough that it's not, no, and
Yeah.
even with us, we have got 600 acres.
Mhm.
We really gotta be looking. I'd still be careful though, because like there are certain rare plants at Stella Hall that you could say, you know, I have X plant here.
Mhm.
Someone is a real plant nerd, it wouldn't take much to figure out where in Stella Hall they are based on the microhabitat
Mhm.
they're looking at.
Yeah.
And most people are gonna go, cool plant, and there's gonna be one person who just has to take it.
And yeah, I mean, this is all stuff that I can consider, and you know, I don't have all of the botany knowledge, but I got my little iNaturalist app, like I can make sure of that kind of thing, but this is all kind of a moot point if I can't post things before coming to a meeting anyway, so that's like the first thing we need to determine is like, are people okay with giving me the okay to just have content, make content, post? And I ideally will kind of shift in a like beyond just being more consistently posting in that direction. Like kind of trying to, you know, I'm sure you guys have seen like some people have maybe seen like reels that are posted by their other land trusts, Audubon, other organizations that will use like trending audios, trending kind of concepts and ideas to make some cute or funny video or photo related to their work or their land. And that's the other piece is like to what extent do we want to keep it as just here's a picture of a cool thing, which is less likely to get engagement, but is, you know, more of a kind of blog-like way to use an Instagram? Or do we kind of go for the increased engagement element by being a little bit more following with trends, posting more frequently, and giving me the all clear to do that? Or if it isn't a like total all clear, which is fine, I just don't want to have to wait until an in-person meeting for that. So like, if that's something that I could just email and make sure that everyone, you know, or at least a couple people look at it and are like, yep, looks good. And then I can post, like that works for me too. But that would just have to be something that like, I don't know where that would fall within the rules and everything.
Yeah.
Josh, can you find out for us? That would be the safest thing, just because we did have a issue. But you know, and what we can do is we can vote on whether the committee is okay with you doing that. And then if it's okay with the town and whatever,
Yeah.
we can go ahead.
What being okay, the sending through email before I post things or just posting them?
Just posting.
Okay. The freedom to post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as you wish.
I make a motion that we vote on whether the committee is okay with also just posting on social media, non-controversial content
And non-species specific.
and non-species, well,
Well,
not
rare
and
and endangered.
Not rare
and
endangered
avoiding
species.
rare and endangered species.
Well, avoiding providing the locations. Like
Right.
we said, like I could
Okay.
say like,
Yeah.
look at this cool thing on Coventry land without being like, look at
Yeah.
this cool thing in Whipple or in Stella Hall.
So, does anybody want to second?
I'll second. This is Lynn.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so moved to have a vote in the future about Elsa's being able to post certain non-controversial things that don't highlight rare and endangered species locations. I'm thinking if you follow what Fish and Wildlife Service posts, because they've started to get much more, trendy and with trying to engage a broader and a younger audience that, and they're federal, so they've done pretty good. They don't use songs that are like vulgar or whatever, but they've gotten pretty trendy.
Can we, what about copyright issues, so?
None of
You don't base those on, yeah, like the thing with Reels is you make the videos on Instagram, and Instagram provides you with audio to add to the video. So you only face issues if you make a video and add audio to it on an external software, and then save that video with audio and then upload it without having the audio like tagged through the thing that you're
Okay.
posting.
So all their audio is in the Creative Commons.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking,
Mhm.
yeah.
kind of.
It-
They're
it's-
less than
that's
90
cool.
seconds, so it'll
Yeah.
be like stuff you're on the radio, but if
Yeah.
you're within that 90 seconds, you're in the clear.
So voting in the future, are we voting on that now?
Well,
Or,
I think we voted
in the affirmative.
We voted in the affirmative with the committee, but we do have to wait for Josh to.
can we just make a motion to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We didn't
I
actually vote on anything.
thought your motion was to vote in the future.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what we just did. So now we have to
Okay.
actually vote if we want to vote. And then what would happen is, if we vote yes, then once I get the okay from you, then I would just have the okay.
okay.
Yeah.
So do we want to vote right now?
Saying we vote later, because I have to get the okay.
Okay.
Well, but it would be, I mean, that's just gonna be the determining factor either way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like whether it's yes or no would determine my ability.
I would wonder that it doesn't matter which comes first.
Yeah, and I mean,
we lose another month.
exactly. I
Yeah.
feel like we might as well just vote now, so
so
that I can
just
start.
vote now, okay.
To,
So I make a motion that we vote right now to, whether or not to give Alpha permission to post on on social media, controversial and non-species, rare species specific locations, about land trust properties. Hello.
Alright. All right, so
So
making a
it's-
motion to
to
allow
vote,
her.
yes,
that,
to
right?
allow her to
allow
do
her.
that.
Yeah, okay, I
One-
second that. Okay.
one thought.
Oh,
Justin
So
was the
part of the
second.
issue, what people consider controversial is inclusivity, and that's in our strategic plan. So how does that factor in?
The inclusivity.
People consider diversity, inclusivity, all those things controversial. That is in our strategic plan.
I'm not
promote
willing,
ourselves.
I'm gonna be so honest, like, I'm not willing to make a social media and work on that if I have to sacrifice like the basic moral of diversity and inclusivity in order to not be controversial. Like, I don't see what we would really necessarily be posting that like would, like, that's not really the primary thing that social media would be. We're not really like advocating for anything that relates to social policy, but like, I just like that would make me really less excited to do this if I had to be like scrutinizing anything that I made and like any audios that I used in case they maybe referenced anything about like including people and diversity as a controversial point. Like, I think that would be a very disheartening thing to settle to as a land trust personally, but
I don't think we need to get into those weeds with this vote. Because I think that we will just. Because what I foresee is people just taking pictures of whatever's around and, whatever species is there and focusing on the environment and the properties. And, we're not going to be going around making political statements with these posts. But if we happen to catch a picture of somebody who's handicapped or not non-white in one of those photographs, we can go ahead, we should be able to go ahead and,
I agree, we should.
you know.
I think the greater risk is if the audio ended up being something that is considered, emblematic of some.
Yeah, but I don't see,
controversial community,
I think
but-
it would be unlikely that
I
that would
think
apply
so
to the
too.
kind of stuff that we're
I'm
posting.
just having an issue with the word controversial specifically because it has become so
I know.
polarizing that
Yeah.
I don't want someone to go, well, you just said this, you can't do controversial things, that controversial to me. So that's my issue. So perhaps we just take that out of the motion vote, whatever we're calling it, and say, just
I mean,
So
we
posting-
have it, we're
posting-
basically trusting Elsa to use
Yeah.
her good judgment, but
Right.
we're saying that one of the specific things is we want to avoid reference to the locations of rare or endangered species.
Yes.
Animals. I second.
Okay, okay.
we have to remake the first motion.
No, we just made,
Okay.
it. Okay, so,
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
I feel like they're just saying that because now I have access to the social media pages, but I haven't posted anything because I wasn't sure until this vote that I'm not, we have to wait for Josh to check for like legal stuff, but that I could post stuff without having to check everything by everybody. So now that motion was saying that as far as the people in this room, like thinking it's okay. Once I get the okay from Josh, we'll have the trust and permission to just get content and post stuff on the social media whenever. And the only thing that you missed before that was, I need to figure out if I have received the folder of content that's been collected in the past, but I'm gonna be sending out, or
You
I
should
will
have.
send to, I think I do. Send to Josh to then send to everybody a email that has a link to the folder and brief instructions on like how to use it, how to upload stuff, because in order for me to have enough content to keep posting, I need people to be adding content.
And can you post something for the library? The library is hosting a compost presentation program. They're really getting into all the nature and eco stuff, which I think is
So
awesome.
they have,
But they've asked us to reshare, so.
oh,
So just go to
So
the
it
site and then
exists.
a post.
Yeah, or just, help advertise like on our own thing. We also need to really get a newsletter or email list going because they asked if we could email it out to people. We don't really email out stuff to begin with, which we've talked about.
they have been.
I got a bunch of emails that we collected from different, from the past days.
Yeah, and I put a bunch of them
Stuff,
up.
yeah.
Let's add that as an agenda item for the future. As just because it's very 7:10 and I'm just
Yeah.
keeping aware of time and the agenda, but something we should think about.
So, add that as an agenda for next,
Yeah, for
yeah.
call it like newsletter, email, listserv, something like that.
I'm not seeing anything on their page yet about this
Alright.
compost thing, but
I
that's
will-
just Instagram, so I can look at their Facebook as well, but I will.
Thank you for doing that.
Mhm.
I have three things real quick. First thing is fungi. The fungi people have reached out to see when we can start scheduling fungal forays. For this season, kind of into the fall a little bit, because it's the shroom season too. I don't have any dates from them yet, but we're gonna focus on Stella Hall because in the past, that's what we focused on and they love it there, which is awesome. And I suggested Sullivan as well because there's a really great parking lot and to the right of the trail. And going north into the property is a lot of good, sure. So I'll keep you all posted. And then these are things I've been carrying around and keep meaning to bring up and keep forgetting. So this one is a tick detective workbook giving out at the home show. It's DOH is giving this out. It's like, tick pictures and stuff. But, we're like searches and all sorts of random things, but I don't know if this is something we'd be interested in creating for us, not necessarily ticky, but like color in like a trail map or like a maze that's trail map or you know, stuff like that, so.
That would be cute, yeah, maybe like little basic, like common species ID for
Yep.
kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frogs or salamanders or something.
Yeah, because this is supposed to be, you know, tick ID. Wasn't that track?
It's really, yeah, I haven't seen it myself, but someone was telling me that like one of the first, it might have been one of y'all, like one of the first things that you see when you get off a plane in the Rhode Island airport
That
now,
was
it's like,
me.
was it you? It was like tick season?
Yes,
really
that
big
is the
on
first
ticks now.
thing you see.
Mhm, yeah, real
Hi,
big.
welcome to Rhode Island.
But then again, I did have 7 on me after our Little Earth Day fun time, so. Yeah. Yeah, that would be adorable. I think that's super cute.
So I think, yeah, I think we could. Okay, if we're gonna create a workbook for kids.
Someone would have to spearhead it,
Yes.
this project, not me.
I can do that. It feels similar to a lot of the brochure stuff. I'm unemployed now. Forcibly.
Well, and Linda
Okay.
has great
And Elsa and
Wait,
Cotter
yeah,
will-
you're-
kids, so.
Do you also do little art stuff, like you do art with
Children's
your
books,
writing, right?
I don't do art, but I do, other people do art for my,
These
but I
national
do
publish.
write, I do write nonfiction for kids. So, if you wanna, what's that? And fiction too, yes, and fiction too. But, if you want that background, we could work together on it.
Yeah, you can collab.
Okay.
Would we want something? I mean, obviously, this is unless anybody like really wants to do this otherwise. But would we want this to be like a one booklet that's like general for land trust and lands, or would we want one that's like trail, like land specific, similar to the like trifold things?
I think something generic for all, because otherwise we're really, quadrupling our effort.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, if we did one that would be land specific, it would not be a full book. It would probably
Right.
be a secondary brochure for each space that's like
Right.
kid oriented, but.
And the thing is, we're very tiny in the grand scheme of land trusts. I'm speaking of land trusts way out west. So we don't have tons of different habitats and species.
Yeah.
Things overlap a lot.
Mhm.
Still holds counts.
I would say go for it, mock some stuff up.
mhm.
Bring-
So maybe we could start by brainstorming what we would like to include as far as what would interest.
I think the, like common or like basic species ID. But I mean, they have the
Yeah.
big ones in there, but like little drawings or photos of things that they will likely see on our lands.
Yeah.
Yeah, not super obscure birds, like don't get into little brown birds
Yeah.
because adults can't even identify those. But you know, like.
Even some trail etiquette, like you don't bring
Yeah.
your motorcycles or ATVs on property, like you get them early.
Litter.
You don't break signs.
You don't break signs,
You don't litter.
you don't let them pick up the trash.
Or also like how to read trails, like what are the marks in the trees?
Yep.
mean?
What to take with you, water, bug spray.
Cell phone.
Checking for ticks. Field guides.
Mhm.
I mean, there's all sorts of stuff we could do in
Mhm.
it. I think it's a really cool work with that one particularly, so just wanna kind of get this ball rolling.
Yeah.
No deadline or specific date, just thought it'd be neat. Maybe feel interested. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up, it's another kind of brochure thing. This is called the Road Tour. It's an app. I think it's mostly focused. It is mostly focused on stuff in the Providence area. I'm just looking at this in Blackstone Valley, but something we could potentially do in the future. I don't want to put a lot on our plate right now, but just want to get ideas out there as to outreach.
I can mention that Larry, our sign guy, did a Coventry road tour.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
He put it together a long time ago and told the council about it and everything and it never got any momentum. but we can certainly
Mhm.
see if he can revisit it and,
And
Help us
include our
create some-
land
yes.
on there.
yeah, I mean, he did things like how to get from historic home to historic home and different things that are of interest in Coventry.
That sounds
Um,
cool.
And so there's a baseline there already.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember all the specifics of it, except for the historic homes and stuff, but yeah. We could get started on it with what he has.
Right.
Yeah.
Any outreach, volunteer efforts, other things before we do treasurer's report?
What do we want to do for, if we're not gonna get the kids, for the mascot on the agenda, we don't think, for the town council,
June 10th.
June 10th, okay. And I
They will be on there because they're supposed to be on there last time.
He told me it would be on there June 10th.
All right, because I'll let the school department know, so they can let the kids know, so they can show up.
Okay.
All right, because I have their t-shirts, the gift card, and I'm just trying to find a couple little ducks to pull it from. Yeah. And actually, I might reach out to their council people to see if they'll make sure that there are citations. You know, because it's one from Coyote and
Hopkins.
Hawkins Hill, right? Yeah. Okay.
And you had mentioned coverage. I was thinking, if you wanna get someone to cover it, we have a really good relationship with Eco Lake Island News.
Okay.
Or the Warwick Post has actually started covering Coventry. They covered the Summit General Store reopening.
Oh, right, okay. All right, no, that would be good, 'cause it'd be nice to get, it's just a positive, it would be a good, just a positive story
Yeah,
for the town council, they'd want to embrace that, yeah. All right, I'll let the school department know.
When you say you're looking for ducks, like stuffed animals.
Yeah, just
kinds of
little
things,
stuffed animals to go with the t-shirt. and
So
the
are
gift
you
card.
looking for mallards specific or?
As close, I'm trying to find as close as possible to Puddles Duckington.
Okay, so I'll keep my eyes open while I'm
All right,
hopping around. If I
thank you.
see anything,
top
I'll
hat?
send you a picture.
With the top hat, no top hat.
No
Puddles
top
Duckington. No cane, no top hat, no spats.
Okay.
Monocle.
No, I didn't think.
I mean, just because I have to buy unique stuffed animals for Lucas graduation presents every year, and I always find exactly what I want.
Okay. Duh.
Or beanie
And-
baby ducks or.
Yep.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, beanie baby ducks.
and
that's good.
bill it to us, I would say. I'm looking at. I know I'm jumping out a little bit, but we're getting close to the end of the fiscal year. If we don't lose that money, we lose it.
Use. Well, do we want it, okay, before we jump into using money, do we want to save some money? Because the other thing is that, we need appraisal money. And so maybe what we should do is.
We are
say,
getting appraisal money next year.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because what I was gonna say is that if we hold over this money and then get more money next year, we should be able to cover at
And
least
it's saying
one.
we can't hold over.
Yeah, that I'm aware of, we cannot hold over.
Okay.
Can we make
There's
a
prediction of
down
open
payment
time.
on an appraisal?
Yeah.
So I am in the process of getting, the appraisal for the Pettegrew property. And that is going to, draw down all of the leftover, funds for this, fiscal year.
Okay, just because I know a few years ago, our budget was like 6 something thousand, this was before I joined. And we didn't lose only 5 of it,
Mhm.
so it's 5.
Mhm.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
So we're saying we don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Same.
And the signage balance, that doesn't, we can't,
Five.
we're like, okay, to keep that, right? That is not gonna go anywhere.
I'm sorry, I missed
The,
this part.
the signage,
Those are ARPA funds, so those are.
That's a
actually separate.
completely,
so
separate.
that will just roll over.
That was what we were told.
Yes,
Yeah.
although I'm
Given.
I'm under the impression that that will not roll over forever.
Okay.
I'd say on that note, treasurer's report, please.
Okay. Treasurer's report, so, this is Lynn. I've itemized on the treasurer's report here. I removed the $600 from the anticipated expense that I had set aside for the Audubon property and put that back in. So we now have a balance of $1,355.06. As a subtotal, and then anticipated expenses only include the secretary minutes and the payroll taxes. And those anticipated expenses were based on what was spent the prior year. So I don't know if those are going to go up or down. We won't know that until the end of the fiscal year. So total balance from our starting balance now, we now have $2,970.06 to spend. No, I'm sorry. Those are the expenses. We have a balance, apologies for the minutes, balance of $1,059.94 to spend. I guess before the end of the fiscal year, right, Josh? Okay.
But that's gonna go to Pettegrew. For the fiscal
That's,
year.
that's the current plan.
Okay.
So that's going out to Pettegrew,
That's going up to the appraisal.
Pettegrew appraisal. So we have no money left then.
We, at the end of the year, will have a balance of 0.
So
When does the
we
year
can't
fiscal year
spend
end?
any more money.
It ends June 30th.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's quick, going up quickly.
Yeah.
Okay,
So in that, with that. This is gonna cost us money to produce. Should we hold off on
It's
creating
gonna
this?
take a while to create too. and the
Yeah.
fiscal year
Yeah.
starts July 1st.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we could go ahead and plunge in. Okay,
Yeah, dive in, and then we just hit print the moment that the account refills,
okay.
or whenever we're ready.
Can I take this?
Yes, please.
That
Okay.
finishes the treasurer's report.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Onto Land Trust website, page updates.
So I realized, I think when we had our Earth Day thing, that I might have mislabeled Lynn, one of the map I sent you. Like with the red, white.
Oh, yeah,
I-
yeah.
I
yeah, so-
like triple checked myself
No,
and then
that's
was
fine.
like, I think it's wrong. So I want to go and walk it another time and confirm that the colors are right.
Sure.
And then
No
that needs
problem.
to go on the website at that point. Yeah.
I can quickly go through the revisions. Okay. Yeah, so this doesn't look right here. There's something about the screen thing that I have to fix. This in land we trust should be above, it should be going all the way to the top. Anyway, on the home page, so this would be the home page. I put our purpose from our strategic plan. This is all draft, by the way. Put our members over here. On the land trust properties, I edited this quite a bit from before. Because we only have 4 that really have trails on them. I was figuring on making those the predominant set of tiles and just kind of give a summary on each one. And then again, it's not fitting right, but then they'll have a link for the wild rice report, the species list, and the trail map for each of the different properties that people can get to from here. And then the other properties without trails could just be listed as being what we own. And then I could have another link down here for a Coventry wide map that will list all the properties.
Yeah, the unique features thing is interesting because the other land trust properties, the ones without trails, still had some presumably ecological benefit to the town. So maybe just some little description of why the town saw it as a valuable thing to preserve.
Yeah, and it's not like folks can't go into those. There's just no trails.
Yes, right. Lynn, I think this is great because it's nice and clear and clean. My only comment is I'd like to see the trail map link. More prominent so that you don't have to scroll down to.
Okay.
access.
Sure,
Yeah, because if people are going to this, that's probably the thing they're looking for.
okay.
Mm.
Thank you. Yeah, any comments at all? Okay, so yeah, I'll put a button or something or move it up to the top.
Okay.
Yeah. If I, if you go, scroll back over, yeah, and then go up. I wonder if the parking, I mean, you do have, Phillips Hill Road up there.
Yeah,
But it's not super clear that that's where to park. You have the coordinates.
mhm.
I wonder if the Phillips Hill Road should clearly state that's where the parking lot is.
Okay,
Like an address.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or
this is a kind of
Yeah.
a unique property because there is no
There is
address
no
for
address.
where
Oh,
the
yeah.
parking
Yeah.
is.
Oh, yeah.
The mailbox. for the
There
house
isn't for any
across
of
the
these
street,
streets. Yeah.
actually at the parking lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we don't want to put
There was an incident with the fungi fear.
the residence
Yeah.
address
Right.
on the webpage, so that's why I was like, okay, how else can we refer to this? And coordinates was the only thing I could think
Yeah.
of, because there is no address for either the parking or the trailhead.
Mm.
Right.
Is there a way
So-
to make that a link?
And I could put a link in there to,
Like just that
Google
will
Earth
take
site.
people to
Yeah.
Google or to Google Maps.
yeah,
Or embed something maybe,
yeah,
because I wouldn't want to put an address in there, but the fungi for, I did that once. I said, you're gonna put in your GPS this address
Right.
and park across from it,
Yep.
and
mhm,
down it.
mhm.
Yeah.
And they,
Yeah.
look at that and say, oh, that's the address.
Right.
And, yeah.
Yeah, I do agree that like coordinates as a layman, that
Yeah,
would lead me
yeah.
to this.
But if there's a link, then that they can just
Yeah,
click
I
and
think
it'll
I'll
take them to Google Maps,
probably
and
that.
that would be useful.
We could have a sign that says parking for Stella Hall. As you come into that area.
We do need to.
That
Yeah,
would be nice.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
To get broken.
I know, that's what I'm afraid of.
Well, okay, great. So that's what I have for this. I will
Steel.
make the changes that you suggested and work on filling these other things in. Then I have another, sorry, did anybody want to have any other comments on this before I move?
That looks great.
Research. I've
Ooh,
played a
oh,
little bit
cool.
with this as well, so. Yeah. I was trying to get something other than green in here, but we'll see. So this will have, any research about the salamanders that we want to put in. Once George can send us his fly data, I'll have a link to that. And then if we have something from the fungi people from, we can put that in. So that's in progress. Research. History, I didn't spend much time with. There's so much to try and get through, but this is what it, looks like now, where you'll have a interactive map. We can move around and these will link to the various properties. Here's Jenna's species and wildlife reports. These will just be linked from that, from the land trust properties.
Wait.
So these-
That's awesome, yeah.
There's not website design. On history, you said Stump Pond was mined for bog iron. Is that true? Because I keep hearing that rumor.
I believe it is true.
Mhm. Yeah.
That was,
wonderful.
this is from the report that
Yeah.
Cam put together.
Alright. That's what I was wondering, if that's where it came from.
Yeah, it is, it's working.
It explains a lot.
Then I'll have another page here for photos and we can swap these out. I don't know why this is so slow. I guess that's slow internet here.
Yep.
Okay, so usually goes faster, but various pictures that we've had.
Yeah.
We can put some, movies in here, whatever.
The turtles on the tire.
The turtle on tire.
Turtle on the tire, yeah. Visitor surveys, so I made these two.
Oh, that's
Sorry, are we getting too much in the weeds here,
Nope.
Jenna? Trail hazard and maintenance survey, report problems here. This will take you to this survey. You can choose the name of your property,
Nice.
if you know the trail name, what the day is. You can actually mark where you are on a map.
That's cool.
When you have this on your phone, it'll open up and it'll actually pull your position in, or you can add it after the fact. Like you can type in your address where you were and put that in, and you can take pictures of the hazard or the trash. And then this is where Parks and Rec will come in. A downed tree, poisonous plants. I tried to pick a whole bunch of different things that, might be relevant. Any other description, and whether it's high or urgent. When they submit this, it's get written to a database, and then we can just check that every once in a while to see if something comes in. Then we have the volunteer survey here. The name of the person, their contact info, either by email, phone number, or both. Task would you like to help with? I don't know. I just kind of put a bunch of things in there. They submit that. So we'll have we'll have a list of people who are interested in volunteering.
Can we add another one that's just, like, I wanna hear about events,
Mhm.
especially because we're talking about trying to have more of an email list, like if we just have like an email list sign up.
And
Okay,
now we're info sign up for whatever we
Yeah,
want to
something
call it.
like that, that doesn't necessarily make them request or
It's not
indicate,
volunteering, but they're just.
but they're just saying, I wanna
okay.
know about.
Sign
such
up
and
for
such.
our
Listserv.
Information.
email me for information. Sure. Perfect, because I'd like to have other things on this
Yeah.
page. So yeah, if you think of anything that we need to have, like, even special events like the fungal foray, if you want to start using the surveys for people to sign up there.
Yeah. And
yeah.
if we're having a special event, is there someplace you can have events as a tag, future events? As another, like, on that front top banner,
Is it
Up here.
as a tag,
Oh, yeah,
events.
yep.
Upcoming events.
There could be, I don't remember what the homepage looked like. There could be a box on the.
Yeah,
Right, that
somewhere.
has
Yeah.
events or something.
Okay, I'll try and figure out where to best put that in.
Or even just have it somewhere people can find it.
Yep.
So that way they can see what we have going on, but also what we've done in the past. So they can keep an eye on stuff.
I may take out then, I mean, I may take out your property. You
I
just
don't
don't
know,
have
I
anything
mean,
right there,
Yeah.
at least initially.
They,
Oh,
research can get moved under species and wildlife.
Either that, or you can move history under, as a sub tab under land trust properties.
Okay.
But I think you're right, Jen. I mean, I think the species and wildlife reports, that could be ongoing research.
They kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think events is definitely, I know we can get rid of your property. We want people to let
We want them to.
Yeah,
Exactly,
We
yeah.
don't have any content right now, so depending on how,
But even just
Fast
that, how
we
to,
wanna
there's
get
that,
How to,
isn't there
yeah.
already a how to?
How to, yeah.
Not
okay.
really. There
No?
doesn't have to yet.
I thought it was written somewhere.
One of the land trusts had it. So, and we
I
saw a
think it
mock-up
had.
from someone, I don't.
We can find it through ChatGPT and make it our own.
Well,
Huh?
we can steal it from, I'm sure other land trusts do, like Situate might have. one.
Yeah, maybe.
Westerly.
Or-
Maybe maybe it was Wesley, because we saw a mock-up of it,
Okay,
of
okay,
donating or getting property.
so I'll steal from them.
And we do have, sworn we had that as an action. Yeah, create information packet.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's one of our.
Uh, Yeah, so that's it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks. Great.
And again, I'm a little confused why this doesn't come out like
Maybe
better.
if those boxes just get smaller, then it'll be in the right.
Or is it a screen?
It's gotta be something to do with the monitor, because I checked
That's
it
what
on
I'm
my
thinking, yeah.
laptop and on my
Mhm.
desktop, and
Yeah.
it works fine,
When?
so. Okay, that's my report on the website.
Really come along.
Really can look into it.
Important calendar dates.
June 16th is the.
June 10th was the day for the council meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's June?
Puddle,
It's
Puddles,
the,
Ducklingtons.
Rhode Island Land Trust. Rhode Island Land
Meeting.
Trust.
Summit,
meeting, Their
yeah.
annual meeting.
So yeah, the Puddle Stuckington is the 11th. 10th. I just saw that. I will not be here. I will be on vacation. But hopefully, gets acknowledged and the kids get their picture taken and get recognized for their wonderful work.
Roy, are you definitely gonna go to that?
So the annual meeting of the Rhode Island Land Trust Council is June 16th at the Guild in Pawtucket. So we get one free ticket for us, like someone within us to use. But we're all invited.
I will be out. You will be out.
I've already registered to go.
Okay. I plan on going as well.
Okay,
Because it's
what time is it?
free for members.
I
I didn't have to pay anything. to
Oh.
Sign up to go.
Okay.
So I think anybody here is automatically a member because we paid to have our membership.
That's what I was wondering. And then I saw something about we get one free ticket. And I was very confused. But
We paid $225 for our Land Trust Council membership dues.
I think so. It's 6 to 9 p.m. But it's Monday night, I think. Monday night.
Yes, it's a Monday night.
Mhm.
And what time is it?
6 to 9.
6 to 9.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of fundraising, it's a little bit of just updates on what the council's been doing, networking, all sorts of stuff. And a lot of leaders in the natural history world in Rhode Island go there, because I know last year none of us attended. I saw pictures after the event. Lots of people from lots of different organizations. Well, it's 6 to 8.
Yeah, 6 to 8.
Oh, I'm seeing summer. Cool. Anyways, looks like it'll be fun.
Okay, so we do have to register, but
Yeah,
You can
for
go.
head count. And so they can have to. So. You can purple too if you want.
Those are the only dates I have.
I think that's all I have to. Yeah. Any other dates? No. At some point, we do need to start planning for land trust days, but that's not gonna be till October-ish, and I doubt they'll have us open up land trust days for the state 2 years in a row. Which was in August last year. Grant opportunities.
Are we skipping properties?
Oh,
okay.
thank
okay.
you.
Hmm.
Natural properties of interest.
I think we can, though. Are there any? Beyond, we're already waiting for it to one.
Grants it is. Great.
Okay. Alright,
So-
so I believe that the grant from Audubon is defunct. I know that Audubon recently, this past week, put out a notice to Audubon members that their staffing, the funding was cut for that program because it's an AmeriCorps program. And that they were looking for members to donate, to at least keep the people who are working for them now for the final 3 months. Instead of just precipitously dropping them right now. So anyway,
They're out.
so I think that grant is out.
Is that what we were sort of hoping for? Those can help with the bridges. and
Yeah,
the
bridges,
stuff.
yeah.
So is there some other opportunity for, are we going to? We're gonna get to fundraising later, it looks like, but as far as our ability to actually act. Fortunately, or not.
Well, actually, as far as the walkway, I was gonna ask you, as for Parks and Rec, I know you did the boardwalk at Whipple. Is it possible for us to look to you to create boardwalks at our voting property in spaces
I
where the
can look into it. It's not anything that we budgeted for, so I don't know how much lumber it's gonna take to,
right?
how, I don't know anything about how long is the boardwalk? How much lumber is it gonna take to build those boardwalks?
It's not really a full boardwalk, it's just
The bridge.
a bridge across a wetland and
125 for a permit as well from DM, which we could cover.
Okay, I
so.
would assume you,
So is it really
would the
just,
town apply for the permit or the land trust apply for the
I
permit?
think the town on behalf of.
is it really just materials that are the issue for cost, or is it labor costs? Like, what would we have to come up with to?
Mostly materials. Yeah,
That was fundraising question quite a lot, so.
Yeah, so that would be terrific if we could work with you to get that done. It's a big issue. And there's a major trail there that goes through a wetland and, it's inaccessible certain times of the year too,
And-
so there's two.
And what about the design? Is that something that it has to get engineered, or is that something you just sort of build it on site and?
that I'm not sure.
What
I've never built one. I've never been a part of building one, so I'm not sure. I don't know what they did when Raina was. I'm new and on my foreman is new, so the people who built the last one. Are not here, so that I don't know. I mean, my guys can put pieces of wood together and put it down. If there's specifications that need to be done, or
It's gonna require any kind of design.
We
Or
do.
they'll just take it for the permit.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do ask for a design.
So is that, how could we start to get that in other words, this is something, a need we've had for a while, and we've been stymied in getting it done. If it's something you think that Parks and Rec could possibly do, what would be the first step to getting that accomplished?
sounds like if they go to DEM first. And get approval, and then. Whatever design is going to be there, my guys could work off of the design. Especially if there's, I don't wanna, my guys are not trained to. If there's certain requirements that DEM has, it's nice to know that upfront, so we can be told, okay. This needs to be, whatever specifications need to be while you're working on that area. Certain, if there's whatever guidelines that they have, all that kind of stuff,
Let me
so.
take this on, so I'll talk to, I keep meaning to call the guy in Situate, because they just went through this, and I can call DEM and get the application for the permit and see what's
on the
is-
website.
Okay, so I'll figure out all the things that they need, and see if we can figure out some way to get it designed in an expensive way. So just getting the steps all, down, and we can talk about it.
Yeah,
I would wonder if we can get some of the local lumber yards to
they're actually,
donate some materials.
Well,
there's,
Coventry Lumber donated the gazebo, right? And didn't, because I know that the gazebo we have where we have little concerts has a sign that says Coventry Lumber on it.
Mm.
So I would assume that they did,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Something to do
if they're still in existence, maybe we should.
oh, they are.
Yeah.
But they're open. Kind of. So I don't know if they
They
still.
were sold, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, okay.
commercial building, I don't know where they're out of, but I took a screenshot of this, so apparently. I don't know if it's every year or once, this was a one-off thing, but they built a boardwalk for the Nature Conservancy for a property in Richmond. And I think they brought all the materials, but it's got like, 4 guys working on this thing, so.
Mhm.
I don't know if they'd be interested. I also feel kind of weird of approaching them and going, hi, can we have free stuff?
Well, why don't we get the plans in place first? You do your piece.
Yep.
And then we'll see if we can get a plan. Figure out what steps and talk to you about how we can go about getting it to happen.
Builders?
Yeah. And the other thing is that I know that there's isn't there a little lumber yard out in Green? Out
Casella?
Casella.
Mm.
That would be another place we might want to approach.
I wonder if the
Yeah.
town could tell us how many
That's a
permits
problem.
marshals
Yeah.
pulled to do roofing or siding in the town of Coventry, and then we could say to them, you've done so much business here. It'd be a nice way to continue doing this. Marshall did my house, did my siding, so that's why I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I asked for anything.
Okay.
No problem.
But it is good to know labor wise, the person who take care of it, because that's half the battle is we don't have someone to do it.
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's see if we can make this happen.
We kind of jumped to maintenance, so let's get back to grant opportunities real quick. So there's a ginormous grant that DEM announced a couple weeks ago. It's 1.5 million for open space. It's meant to be used for acquiring a property. We don't have a particular property in mind that I think would fit within the window of us being able to apply for the grant, like we could do Pettegrew. But the way things have been going with the council and how long that takes, I think we would run out of time.
What's the deadline?
July, I think.
I think we got 300,000 from DEM wants to buy the.
Yeah, July 25th was the deadline.
It went a little more quickly because Mr. Sullivan's brother is the one who either the property or sold the property to the land trust.
It says matching.
Was that a
grant.
both?
Yeah, so that's why it would have to be, as I was just saying, is that it would have to be
It was a
for
lengthy.
getting land, because
process.
we would have to
Yeah.
use some of our money, and then they would
Yeah,
match it,
we
and
would
then that
try
would,
to
it
secure the guy.
would leave us with more of our
Dennis also
acquisition
correct,
money.
so
than
that
we don't
helps.
have it.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's right,
definitely.
Dennis was right.
Yeah.
Got one of the other supporting documents for it. But that's probably somewhere, that grant is probably somewhere that kind of as a template.
Yeah. And we don't have a grant writer for the town.
We do?
Mhm.
Oh, that's so much easier.
Property next to Grassett is for sale.
Really?
Is that the one that has the dam on it?
Yeah,
The town council.
We won't buy it.
Yeah.
We do not want.
they don't want that one. I
Sounds
remembered
like
that
the-
there had been
yeah.
some sort of issue with it.
Yeah.
The dam.
Yeah, and it's one of the worst
Okay.
dams in
Yeah.
Yeah.
the state.
Yeah.
Never mind.
In the condition.
I
Won't be
think
able
if
to
we
give that
tried
away.
that, we'd be dead.
Yeah.
I don't think you can give that away, to tell you the truth.
No.
Such poor talks, yeah.
Well, Gloucester had
Yes.
to appoint my friend to their land trust just because he's an engineer and they have so many dam problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it have to be purchase? Projects that connect with or expand existing. Proposals.
Is that an
to
and or
investment.
or?
So is there a property, like is Mende's on the are we on the cusp of Mende? Have we moved it for Mende?
We're in the solicitor.
That was the
I
development,
talked to the
right?
town manager the other day, it might have been last week, that he is going to bring it up to the solicitor.
That'd be nice, because this is ridiculous. And the Mendes have been more than patient. For trying to do something that would benefit the.
Mhm.
Just my thoughts.
Well,
So are we gonna try for this, or do we not have a property that we can get
you know,
set in time for it?
I don't think we have one, just because we can't move as fast.
Okay.
I'm afraid that if we even were to get it, they'd say you have to purchase property within like, I don't know, the fiscal year or whatever. There's no way we're gonna meet that, as much as we want to.
So let's just move on.
Well,
We can do it.
you know, maybe this will happen again next year, so if we
Right.
can have some
Yeah.
properties teed up to be ready to move if something comes along like this, I mean.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they do
Like with
this.
the appraisal done and like council approved and.
it's not likely that they're gonna have another bond approved by the voters for more open space.
What was the deadline for this?
July
July
25th.
25th.
If we just keep an eye on them,
Mhm.
and they do other. Open space and others minor grants. For various recreation and outdoor things.
Yeah, there are specific recreational like trail plans too, so.
Yeah.
But if we don't have properties right now, then I don't think we need to
No,
think too
belabor
much
the
about
point.
grants for now, yeah. So.
Um,
It's also already.
There's this one. So this one, again, we're running on a real short time frame, but this is up to $3,000. And you can use it specifically for appraisals. So is this where you got the other money for the Pettegrew property?
No, that's coming, directly from the planning department.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Is the Hayes property still, do we know if that's on the market?
It's not on the market. I just wanted to put it on there because if